Belakang skip dah, belakang lagi.
Sorry, excuse me, sorry.
Yang penting kau aku cakap dah. Kau penting kau dapat dah. Halo. Ingat Cyril tadi. Allah.
Ini ni kau dapat ni bukan bini dalam rumah.
Oi, alhamdulillah cak aku ambil gambar bahan. Yelay. Oh. Thank you. Wah, dia cat yang kita kek aku ni mana? Kilat daripada ni. Kecian tisu penuh kepala.
This is beautiful.
Beautiful. Oh,
Sorry.
so very sharp.
Sorry to blind you guys.
Is
I
it
didn't
new
mean
model?
to.
It's a pejoke, brother.
It's very strong, man.
Bantai mata kuda. Pound betul sharp.
Tembak kat atas kan.
We can use flash, right?
Saya punya gambar tadi sakit mata sebab dia punya lampu ni.
Siapa yang kamera tadi bunyi ter... Ha?
Tu dia.
Model apa ah? Macam apa tu ah?
Itu yang Brazil tadi, yang Brazil.
Oh, buat betul. Oh,
Brazil ni.
buat je. Ganggu audio pun. Okay.
Itu sebab kamera jabat bro. Dia mesti dapat macam tu.
Nasib baiklah aku dapat bonus dari ni. Memang ni tak masalah kamera aku sejuk. Lepas tu dia kabus kan. Dah bukan nampak belakang putih. No. Rasa empal lah aku cakap. Okay, boleh. Michelle, okay Michelle? Are you okay Michelle? Oh, very okay. Oh, ambil program ambil. Nice flower. Apa nak ambil lah? Ada bumper.
You did?
Oh, nampak je. Tak, dia sampai dia stop. Alah, sekejap kau pula lah. Aku bagi Afrika di sini boleh tak? TV kesian.
Tu yang Shakira.
Macam
Tak ada tu cekak jangan cari tu.
Nah. Assembly. Once. Dia siapa?
Demo di sana 3 hari demo nak comel. Aku cakap dia.
3 hari
Pengalaman kawan.
3 hari
3 hari kawan nak comel semua. Nanti nunggu pak. Kawan pergi. Orang tak nak pergi kau kawan pergi. Comel.
3 hari.
Ha. Saya pergi tengok.
Dia orang pergi retake pula
Untuk malam
dengan KLCC lah.
Jadi mana?
MO.
Siapa? Tu lah. Aku dah nampak TV luar negara tu. Mana foto dia? Kan dua dia. Mana ni? Cepatlah aku nak
MO lah dekat E.
No picture.
Yang kaki je.
Trader jauh sikit But you're present for your country. But you're present on your country. Yeah, of course. Alright.
Apa cik Shakira tadi lah bang? Tak, apa cik Shakira tadi lah, Abang Shakira ni.
Jangan ke bau, Bin. Dapat bau, Bin. Aku cakap dia tu lah. Lepas ni kau ambil bau lah. Betul-betul dia. Memang bau lah. Ingat sekejap kawan. Sekejap. Duduk. Aku nak sampai kat Tansi. Tansi masuk.
Salam.
Ada program.
Cakap saya tu.
So sana no physical what angir, no physical what physical abuse. What do you mean disappeared? Oh, he's behaving with so he shake a fella, shake yak child so a Robert shake it. of something. In fairness, we say.
Oh, okay.
Shooting from here. Shooting from here, we all need to get this. Not a good idea. You know what I want to ask? No. So, can I stand and be in front of your pictures? Oh, Copa favor. Our flag, not a table flag. It needs to be turned the other way around. Wabona inti ya? No,
Kecuali kan jatuh. Kecuali kan jatuh.
right hand abang right hand. How to? Yeah. Patience juga. Yeah. Yeah, but we are seeing into a white area. Gonna flag ya gonna inti na isinya na yara. So we just want to hide that stem. Above the stem. Yeah, that. Yeah. If you just twist it hanya you can do it now. No.
No, you ask Michelle. You ask Michelle.
Oh.
You ask them.
Hi, Michelle.
Now,
Our flag from way back. That's why. Is it possible maybe to turn it around slightly? Yeah. Is it? But what possible? We can repeat it otherwise. What? Rotate this direction. Okay, Linan, I'm going to check it. Well, I do it. Yeah.
Kasi lang, kota jangan menunggu. Kau janganlah tunggu juga. Peluk dia jaga diri dia. Tak, sejak lagu dia ambil sejak tu akan kena hujung presiden. So, dia tanya dia tak.
more colors to work with. We like colors.
I think flying color.
Yeah.
Alright.
Stand here.
Ini kena. Dia beli ah. Blok.
Okay, I'll go down. It's fine.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
You see, more room for me to stand up.
No.
Shakira, come on. Kau bagi.
Guys, you don't invite me to the party.
come on.
Come on, man. These guys.
Come on, join. Because I have a problem.
Ready to receive. Excellent. Yeah.
Sorry. Perfect.
staff and delegates and your delegation. On behalf of my delegation, Malaysia and Malaysian people, of course, we welcome and open heart. We're extremely delighted. South Africa has special sort of historical interest with us. I was one of the student leaders that demonstrated the support of your movement, the ANC, your leaders, you are familiar with. And fortunately on that score, we were not arrested. and Madiba or Nelson Mandela was of course a household name in Israel. And I'm glad to mention to my colleagues here that we grew up with the Tambo and even the Cardinal, colorful Cardinal, Desmond Tutu, I met him too, yeah. And they have extremely witty Cardinal. And you was fortunate, and you're now holding the fort to ensure that you can explain the ideas and aspirations of these great leaders. We have produced great leaders, although we certainly know about the sufferings that we have endured, family members, but what is important is that you are now at the helm, and we are of course not only delighted but extremely happy that you're here, and you can see that with the sentiment of the students, university, the professors, the lecturers, we have comfort that on the doctorate from my alma mater, of course, which I would not publicly say, but it's a great university. My other colleagues don't come from that university. and you see, I made this personal choice that Cyril Ramaphosa must get from that university. But as I said to you, President, despite the strong sentimental, emotional ties, every trip I went to South Africa is always full of enthusiasm and delight. But we are not executing it in terms of trade, investments, culture, research, education. So it is a challenge for us, this meeting. Your visit is not just a normal diplomatic sort of engagement, but I think between true friends who share common aspirations, ideas. We admire your courage and tenacity when it comes to tackle issues, international issues, including Gaza. People do empathize with your background, historical antecedents of apartheid. You of course understand. In fact, the term apartheid became popular even in Gaza when they tried to use that, although now it becomes genocide. But before I hand over to you, I think it's proper that I introduce my team. Otherwise, as Lula said this morning, they may quietly complain that they are not being recognized, my team. So I will use the opportunity to introduce them to you. Saifuddin Nasution, Minister of Home Affairs. In those days, the Minister of Home Affairs was responsible for all our arrests. now it's the reverse. We don't. To my left is, of course, a very colorful Minister of Investments, Trade, and he has done immensely, great job in terms of introducing Malaysia and getting new investments. We have surpassed our initial projections in terms of investments, particularly in the new technology, AI, digital, and related new technology. And then to right, or Saifuddin, is Khalid Nodi. Khalid Nodi is one of the Vice President of UMNO, because ANC is very close to UMNO, to having a point with a very important member of our coalition. And if it goes wrong, blame him. He is Minister of Defense, a very important portfolio. And I mentioned Khalid to the President, you know, we had engagement before on defense, much less now. So I think we need to seriously explore, because you're much more advanced in terms of defense production as compared to us. And now that our strategy to open up new trade links and market, we should seriously look at South Africa. On the left, of course, Zhang Li Kang, Mr. Science, Technology and Innovation, to speak. He's also one of the vice presidents of my Justice Party. He's balanced out. Now to the right, again, is Shamsu Azri, Chief Secretary of the government. You know what Chief Secretaries are, they say generals. Yeah? They say yes to you, but they do what they like. To the left again, Muhammad Al-Amin, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, and then again Cyril, Chief Secretary of the Prime Minister's Office, and Ahmad Rozian, Deputy Secretary General, Minister of Home Affairs. And the rest, of course, was the delegation. The ministers were spread out with the ASEAN meetings, including the Foreign Minister. Mr. Poland is only chairing the Foreign Minister meeting today. So thank you again, and thank you.
Thank you very much, my good friend, Prime Minister of Malaysia. It's a real joy to be here. And of course, greetings to our ministers and deputy ministers on both sides, and senior officials who are here present, and of course, members of the media who also always follow us. It is indeed a great pleasure, but for us, South Africa, it's almost like a homecoming. Malaysia has always played an important role in the life of our country. You supported us as we were struggling against the apartheid system, but you also strongly supported us as we were now emerging from the oppression of apartheid. Many of our officials, particularly in the international work and foreign relations, were trained here. They came here for a number of courses, and that prepared us very well. And so the visit that we are undertaking today here is quite an important one, and for us quite historic, because our contact, both at trade level, investment level, tapered down over the years. And today, due to your insistence, my good friend, Prime Minister, you have insisted that we should recalibrate our relationship, and we should reboot it, revive it, and reposition it. And for me, it's a real joy, and you say it should be more than an emotional coming together. Indeed, it should be, although there is quite a lot of that based on friendship and based on solidarity. It should also be very, very, very much based on how we should deal with each other on trade, on investment, and support for each other in diplomatic matters, internationally and otherwise. We are particularly happy that we are here, and we also have learned a lot from Malaysia. We've learned from your best practice in many, many ways. Our founding father was received with great warmth when he came here in 1997. So we too still remember that. So this visit builds on many, many years of cooperation that we have had, and we see this visit as being an opportunity for us to revitalize our halls. And we also thank you for inviting us to participate in ASEAN. And we have also invited you to come and participate in the G20. Not that it's a revenge, but it's something that we have to do. Your participation in the G20 with us is going to lift that summit. We are ready to receive up to 60 heads of state, and we're delighted that you will be amongst the leaders that we will be having. And of particular interest to our countries, the position that Malaysia occupies as a leading global hub.
requested to take your seats and switch your mobile phones to silent mode. Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Pagi tadi awak tak ada. Pagi tadi awak tak ada.
Ada lah.
Tak meeting ke?
Pagi tadi stres. Dia dah kerja. Pagi tadi stres. Dalam bos makan. Apa? Very beautiful lah. It's very beautiful. Macam orang dulu.
Patutlah kita tak sama. Kamera sama. Aduh.
Sebelum ni I tak pernah cakap tau.
Kan kita sama.
I dah.
I've actually got the audio cut on, so that we'll get yeah, I put it up. I heighten it up because someone's speaking, so okay, cool.
Kalau kapal lagi belum lagi.
Is it like
Type C, eh?
is it Type C or is it like MagSafe?
Okay, Type C.
Oh, but I have the Huawei.
Yeah. Do you think to the format?
Yeah, invest in this investment. I think we will shop. Or maybe they will sell it separately. There's a shopping mall nearby. Close to yeah, that mall, some place in
Lagi mall.
so dia duduk dekat dengan
Dia beli kita bawa ke mall.
tapi dia kena bayar lah mahal-mahal.
Mahal lah tu, kira
Tapi itu yang dekat dengan ni.
tak boleh korang beli ni lah. Ya.
Lagi je lah, ni.
Yes.
Ni, sedekah tu.
Kau ingat kau bapak saya?
Dia office
Bapak pernah dengar tu.
Oh, bank tak?
Oh, gila bank apa ni kan? Dia macam M1. Aku sebelah kau. Yang sebelah ni tu, dia tak tahu. Lepas tu tiba, flash.
Memang kau nak kena menantu sama senang. Kalau kena menantu sama senang.
Memang lah. Macam kau.
Nanti kau bagi power bank tu, bermula dengan power bank.
Tak, 3 hari kau kena dia bernafas. Jangan dia tak tahu. Aku cakap habis. Kau pernah pergi power bank kau lah?
Tak ada mobil ni.
WhatsApp.
Dia nak tolong tu kat campus. Masak cepat tawar.
Dah lama-lama sangat. So, nampak kat pagi kereta. Kau pakai tali ke? Hafiz tak pergi tali? Hafiz tak bagi pergi tali?
Ni cukup dah.
Pasal kita tak bagi dia crop, tak boleh crop. Ha? Tak boleh crop. Dah crop je. Bukan. Masa kita shoot tu crop tu kan kita lihat kan F itu apa nama dia? F10 Control F10 Aku nak benda tu dekat sini. Kat sini. Kat salah satu kat sini. Cuba. Minta tolong audio mic test sikit. Boleh tak? Sorry. London to Vertex. London to Vertex audio. Menu.
Okey.
MC. Okey, nak try audio from London. London nak try jap sound. Untuk MC dengan total. Thank you.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, joint press conference between Malaysia and the Republic of South Africa will begin shortly. You are kindly requested to take your seats and switch your mobile phones to silent mode. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera diucapkan kepada semua hadirin. Pertamanya, boleh? Belum bagi manifesto lagi tu? Boleh? Okay. Honorable Prime Minister of Malaysia, Mr. Anwar Ibrahim, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank... Okay? All right, thank you. You have the question from the floor? Excellencies.
Test mic.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, joint press conference between Malaysia and the Republic of South Africa will begin shortly. You are kindly requested to take your seats and switch your mobile phones to silent mode. Thank you. Announcing the arrival of His Excellency the President of the Republic of South Africa and the Honorable Prime Minister of Malaysia. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we will now commence with the joint press conference with a statement by the Honorable Prime Minister of Malaysia.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the government, the people of Malaysia, of course it is our honor to welcome our dear friend, President of the Republic of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, and members of the South African delegation. We have, as referred to in our series of meetings today, and my earlier meetings with the President, and lately in Rio, Brazil, we are known to each other, one another, and the fact that our relations has been close even during the apartheid, and our affection for Madiba, Nelson Mandela, is well known. And in fact, I mentioned that we even invited, after the initial reconciliation, with the suggestion of Nelson Mandela, to invite Vice President de Klerk to Malaysia to showcase the multiracial, multireligious entity and the working relations between all the major races in this country. I was also fortunate that soon after I was released from prison in 2004, Nelson Mandela invited me and the family to spend some time with him in Joburg. Before then, I proceeded to Cape Town. So you see, the relationship is not only diplomatic or G2G, but also a very personal and emotional journey in advancing a cause for human dignity, freedom, and justice. President Cyril Ramaphosa, to us, represent also a new voice, a voice of conscience, this tenacity and conviction, defending justice, human rights across the continent in Africa, and more so up to Gaza. They are a very prominent player in the Hague Initiative at the ICC, and of course on behalf of Malaysian generally, I must also express my profound gratitude for this courage to defend what is right, because historical antecedents is one. Historical experience must teach us. What you went through is, of course, a total hardship, is unimaginable under this period of times, but then you then have to showcase this experience must teach humanity a lesson. In some areas, people unfortunately have not learned. Now, on a bilateral basis, we agreed, both my colleagues, the cabinet members, and yours, have agreed that we need to enhance. The Malaysian strategy is to expand new trading partners, whilst continuing with existing conventional arrangements. We have decided to open up. That's why we are members in terms of expanding the trade, intra-ASEAN trade, and focus in Asia. But we also realize that through BRICS, we have now been very committed to expand our trade relations with Africa and Latin America. And with Africa, South Africa also has a special place of influence and your economic strength, both in the defense, agriculture, and related industries. So we have given assurance that we will continue to collaborate even new areas other than palm oil, which is ongoing, semiconductor, halal, agriculture, and defense. We're expanding this to education and research in universities and scientific institutions of research, and the ministers here will have, the various other ministers will then follow this through. Now, again, congratulations, President Ramaphosa, for being given this honorary doctorate in international relations by University of Malaya. And this is second after Nelson Mandela in 1990. So you can see this strength, the son of South Africa, being honored by Malaysians generally. So thank you again for being here.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister. May I now invite His Excellency, the President of the Republic of South Africa, to deliver his statement.
Okay. Well, Honorable Prime Minister, and my good friend, Anwar Ibrahim, distinguished guests, ministers who are here present, I wish to thank you, Prime Minister Anwar, for the invitation you have extended to us as South Africans, and for the very warm welcome that we witnessed as we were coming in. We have hardly been able to see such a warm welcome, which was displayed not only by your ministers and key officials, but by young people at school and at universities. So that truly warmed our hearts. The ties between our two countries did not start during the period of the struggle against apartheid. It started more than 300 years ago. So there's a lot of history between our two countries. Our nations are bound together by ancestry and a shared resistance to the atrocities of slavery and colonialism. One of my former ministers, who is now writing a book about his own family, traces his history, his family history to Malaysia, and how his forebears were taken to South Africa as slaves, and he has been able to trace it in great detail, which in many ways speaks to the bonds between our two countries. So when we come to Malaysia, it's like coming home. Much as there are memories of sadness, but it is like coming home. And we'd like to thank you for inviting us to come. As the people of South Africa, we will forever remain grateful to the people and the government of Malaysia for your support in our struggle for freedom, but also in the formative years of our democracy. So this meeting today constitutes an important step towards what I would call revitalizing and strengthening our relations. We have reconfirmed that trade and investment opportunities need to be expanded between our two countries, particularly during this period of geopolitical tensions and challenges, where trade is being used as a weapon. We do believe, as you do too, that we need to expand our market base, and having been so closely related to one another and it tapered down over the years, we would like to recalibrate that and make sure that our ties get stronger and stronger. So South Africa will strive to further strengthen our existing collaboration in the many areas of common interest. The momentum which these consultations have generated should not be lost. Beyond yourself and myself, I'm pleased to know that our ministers and our officials have started the collaboration process and will extend it even beyond this visit. We agree that regular meetings of this nature will keep us focused as we strive to reach the full potential of our cooperation while at the same time strengthening the bonds of solidarity that bind us together. So South Africa attaches great importance to its relations with Malaysia. It is my hope that we will continue to strengthen our friendship and our cooperation as two nations with the various exchanges that we should have. It would be most fitting that we rekindle also our people-to-people relations, especially in education, as you talk about exchanges between our universities, at research level, at student exchange level, and we should also broaden the exchanges at the cultural level and also at the sport level. And of course, you know what a great sporting country we are. We win world championships, not that we're here to boast, but that's the reality. A number of foreign policy issues were also touched upon, as you have also touched on, and these include the situation in the Middle East and particularly Palestine. We are deeply grateful for the support that you have given to South Africa, as South Africa demonstrated its support for the people of Palestine. As you correctly said during our bilateral meeting, our support for Palestine was not just a fanciful act. It is born out of our own experience during our consultation or meet bilateral. You did mention that the concept of apartheid is also what we see being practiced in that part of the world. And it is this that has motivated South Africa to raise our complaint to the International Court of Justice, a move that you have supported us in, much as it has been risky and fraught with a lot of opposition. But we thank you for acknowledging that it was a courageous move on our part, and we will continue to seek justice for the people of Palestine, like the world sought to see justice for us as South Africans when they also went to the United Nations to declare apartheid a crime against humanity. And we, seeing the genocide that is unfolding in Gaza, saw fit that we should act in the same way that the world acted when they opposed apartheid. And we count you as one of those countries that joined in the opposition against apartheid and also against what is happening in Gaza. We together engage in a number of multilateral forums where at a diplomatic level we work together, and we obviously want to deepen that. And our pull-aside meeting in Brazil led to this rekindling of the relationship between South Africa and Malaysia. And we agreed that we need to strengthen our relations as we strengthen the South-South relations at a global level. And we also discussed how South Africa, as being part of the AU and SADC, can be closely linked to ASEAN. And in this regard, I would like to thank you for inviting South Africa to participate in the ASEAN Summit, which we are grateful for. And we are really pleased that in the spirit of friendship and cooperation between our two nations, you have agreed to honor us with your presence at the G20 Summit, which takes place next month in Johannesburg in South Africa. And we await to welcome you there together with the business delegation that you are going to bring, which will help to solidify our relations at a trade and investment level. And our ministers are going to be fully engaged in crafting memoranda of understanding in a number of areas, in defense, in trade and industry, in agriculture, in areas such as halal foods, and so forth. So we need to upgrade the trade between our two countries. Where we are trading now, the level is just too low. We need to upgrade it to a much higher level. And Prime Minister, in extending the friendship and cooperation between us, I wish to extend to you an invitation to visit South Africa at a state-level visit in 2026. So your visit to South Africa now for the G20 is just the warming up process. So I want you to come in a full-blown visit to South Africa, and we will be honored to welcome you to the most beautiful country in the world, South Africa. But having come to Malaysia for the first time, I now see that South Africa has competition. Malaysia is also beautiful. So you join the ranks of the most beautiful countries in the world. So thank you for welcoming me to Malaysia.
Thank you, Your Excellency President. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we will now open the floor for a question from our media representative. In the interest of time, we will allow only one question to be answered by both leaders.
Good.
May we have the first question from the floor?
Yeah, one question.
One question. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the fact that we are both fortunate countries to be leading ASEAN and us to be leading the G20, and where we are both as countries involved in various engagements, and I've heard that leading up to the ASEAN Summit, there have been more than 250 meetings that your ministers have engaged in. We've also had a similar type of involvement, more than 130 meetings that have encompassed many, many people from various parts of the world. And during those engagements, we have noticed that we are able to extend cooperation across many countries in a number of areas, be it on policy matters, social policy, issues like climate change, issues like, in our case, dealing with national debt issues, national issues like how climate change challenges can be funded and how the cost of capital can be brought down. So all those areas that there's been collaboration in, South Africa has been given leadership. And similarly, I think Malaysia has also been giving leadership in those areas. And most of what we've been focused on is to improve the lives of our people, but to also extend trade and investment. So through these platforms, be it in BRICS, be it in the G20, and be it also in the G7, where we are invited quite often. And even at the UN level, we want to create a better world at the social level, at the economic level, for the peoples of various countries to lead a better life. So we focus on all those issues, but principally on how through economic policies, trade policies, we can improve the lives of people. So that has been the main area of focus for our involvement in those structures. And in the main, our involvement has been quite effective. Much as we are a small country of just 62 million people, being in the south of the African continent, far away from many markets, but our involvement at the global level has been quite impactful. And in the recent past, South Africa's stature has been raised, and our voice is heard in many places on various areas that affect the lives of people, economic, social, and otherwise. So it's been an honor for us to be part of the G20 and to be part of BRICS and to participate in various other forums. Thank you.
To follow up on the assertions by the President, I would say that Malaysia is essentially a trading nation. And we believe the globalization and multilateral arrangements. And to affect this change, we have to open up new markets. So, of course, the fundamental concern and priorities, of course, economic collaboration. But in this polarized setting, we realize that discussions should extend to other areas, culture, the arts, research, education, and more so about the essential sentiments and aspirations to protect human dignity and honor. And with President Ramaphosa, we discussed this, that there is clearly a deficit in terms of among the political leaders in terms of protecting honor, dignity, and the lack of compassion. So other than trading arrangement, which we have to open up, because Malaysia, for example, cannot be totally dependent on a few countries. The market is expanding, the economics is growing, and to ensure our own survival, then we take very pragmatic, practical measures to enhance intra-ASEAN trade, collaborate further effectively with within the region Asia. But I realize, therefore, in this globalized world, we had to secure friends, particularly friends that share a common vision, common ideals. And that's why when I was given the opportunity to chair ASEAN, I said the two countries that I would certainly focus, because I believe in them, and I express the same sentiments with their leaders, so South Africa and Brazil. And I'm so happy, of course, and delighted with my colleagues that they are here. And from here, we move further. But again, the test is not in these meetings. The test is whether we can concretize and execute what we have decided. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister and Your Excellency President. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we have now concluded our joint press conference. Announcing the departure of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of South Africa and the Honorable Prime Minister of Malaysia from the hall. The rest of the delegation may proceed to the banquet hall. Thank you.